Rich in Fremont. Hi, Rich. What are you doing?
On my way home, just getting off work, guys.
Yeah.
Listening to the conversation, and first of all, thanks for taking my call. I think really what the Golden State Warriors is just a mixed bag of tricks right now. You know what I mean? It's like I don't think we really should be, wanting to yell at Steve Kerr because certain guys that are on the bench are not getting time or whatever. I mean, in the end result is that both sides have not really been consistent all season. There's been some inconsistency with starters, inconsistency with the bench. But like I said, you got a whole nother half of the season. So, rather than yell at Steve about who isn't getting playing time and who is, and all of those things, all those intangibles, I think probably what we need to do as a fan base is sit back and just trust, the coaching staff. Those are the guys who deal with these players every day. They know what's going on with each player individually. So rather than just say, oh, well, you know what, Steve, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. It's like, it's easy to say that when you're not the head coach of Golden State. Okay. And if I was Steve right now, my goal would be to win the Pacific West Division. That would be my goal. Because to me, that is attainable. Thanks, guys.
To win, thank you, Rich. It's a fun call. I don't know how long it's been since somebody has said in basketball, let's get out there and win the division. Let's get out there and win the Pacific.
It's not actually likely. You're in dead last, and you're 8 back of the Clippers. You'd have to pass the Lakers, the Suns, the Kings, and the Clippers to win the Pacific Division. Yeah. So, for me, the real goal, I mean, Steve Kerr's stated goal is to be out of the play-in, to get to the 6.
I think that is
great. That's a great goal.
That is the correct goal.
For me, the secondary goal is get to the 8. That way you have 2 cracks at the play-in. If you're the 8, you lose against the 7, you get one more chance to get out of the play-in tournament. So, yeah, get the 6, but the secondary goal is just get to the 8. I think you've got the 10 pretty well sewn up, so you don't really have to worry about falling down to the 11.
Well, you're 3 games clear of the Jazz, 4 in the loss column, and you're just better.
And you have the tiebreaker.
You're better than all those teams.
Right.
Utah, Houston, Memphis, Portland, and San Antonio. Those are the 5 that are going to be out. You're better than those teams.
If you find yourself in that 11 spot, now you're going to see Guy Santos and Usman Garuba and Lester Quinones. You're going to get to see all those players. Your wish will come true.
NBA remaining strength of schedule. The Golden State Warriors, and this works in reverse, so you want to be at the bottom of the list, not the top, are 25th out of the 30 teams.
Okay.
Which means they've got one of the top 6 weakest schedules remaining in the NBA. The Los Angeles Lakers are 5th. They have the 5th hardest schedule remaining. You should move ahead of the Lakers.
But you're just you're a game ahead of them in the loss column.
In the loss column. But you're technically a half game behind them overall. You should catch the Lakers. The other teams that are attainable are the Mavericks, Pelicans, Suns, and Kings.
Right.
Those teams are all 4 games or less ahead of you. Forget the Clippers, Nuggets, Thunder, and Wolves. They're gone. Yeah. They're gone, right? Those teams that will host round 1 are gone. All right, so let's look at this. Sacramento, 8th hardest remaining schedule. Clippers, 9th hardest remaining schedule. Pelicans, 10th hardest remaining schedule. And then Dallas is 18th. So that one's a little bit in the middle of the pack. But of that whole group, the Warriors clearly have the easiest schedule the rest of the way. So I like what you're saying. And I sit here today, Denver loss be damned, very optimistic that the Warriors will be in the top 8 seeds at the end of the regular season.
They need to be.
I agree.
I don't want them to be in that 9-10 because then you have to win 2 games to get out of the play-in. Mm-hmm. And I'll add this to your excellent reportage about the schedule the rest of the way.
Thank you very much.
You've got Dallas thrice.
Yeah, you play head-to-head.
Not twice,
yeah.
thrice.
Yeah, you play head. You can get them. You can get them on your own.
And you've got the Lakers twice. You go down to the crypt twice to take on the Lakers. So that right there is 5 games in head-to-head fashion against teams that are directly in front of you. So that makes it to where you can make a little bit of a positive move. You've got Utah and Portland. 3 of your last 5 are Utah and Portland. And 2 of those are home to Utah. You go to Portland. So those are the kind of games that you start to think about in the win column. I know you have to go out there and play it. You don't play these games on paper, but the Dallas head-to-heads and the 3 cupcakes at the end of the year, you can make a little move now, Mark.
I just thought the hard
San Antonio
part,
twice.
Well, the hard part for the Warriors is a team that's used to, they're a veteran team, they're an older team, and they're used to this time of the year kind of not coasting or cruising, but they're strategic. They're getting ready for the playoffs. And you don't have that luxury. You now have to be uber focused every single time that you put sneakers on. And so my big thing for the Warriors the rest of the way, and why I think they will at least end up the 7 or the 8, if they simply win the games they're supposed to win.
Yep.
That to me is the key the rest of the way. If you look at the next, what's today, February 26th, if you look at the next 2 weeks of Warrior basketball and you simply go from that perspective, like don't mess up, your baseline is 5-3 over those 8 games. If you can even just sneak one of the other 3 at New York, at Boston, home to the Giannis's, if you sneak one of those and take care of the games you're supposed to take care of, well, 2 weeks from today, you're 6 games over 500. And I promise you won't be in the 10 seed anymore.
Right.
You will be 9th. You might be 8th.
Well, that is assuming that you don't one of these away.
Slip up. You got to beat Washington.
I looked at the rest of the schedule.
You got to beat Toronto.
You got 26 to go, and I counted 11 cupcakey, absolutely should win ball games of the final 26. So of the remaining 15, even if you can just gut out an 8 and 7. Now you're at 48 wins, and you're easy the 7 seed. You might be the 6.
You get a home and home with the Spurs. You're not allowed to lose one of those.
And you also have another game against the Spurs. You got 3 against San Antonio remaining.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Couple of Utahs and a Portland.
You
got my.
A Portland. You've got a Chicago.
You got a Houston.
We don't have a problem when Houston comes.
No.
Wait, Rick in Alameda said what? Hey, Rick, what are you doing?
Yes, real quick. Let's talk about building around Looney. He's an old timer. Let's build around him. Let's work on defense. Let's get on Kuminga. Let's put him into the game more. And I'm gonna step back with that.
I'm glad that you will.
So step back.
Thank you very much, Rick.
So build around Looney.
Yes.
Okay.
He's an old guy. He's 28.
Yep.
Let's put Kuminga in more. He's averaging like 28 minutes.
Almost 26 minutes a night.
26 minutes a night.
On the rise.
But 26 minutes a night, that's over the whole year.
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
So since January, he's averaging closer to 30.
Yeah.
Okay.
Done.
All right.
Get me Kerr. Get Kerr on the horn. Yeah. Since January 1, Kuminga's averaging exactly 30.3 minutes a night.
Yep.
And that's over 23 games, and he's averaging 19 a night. So even through the recent lull over the past 6 games where he's averaging 13, since the turn of the calendar, he's averaging 19 a night. So he's been the 2, Mark. He's basically been there too.
Here's the point I want to make, and it's going to surprise no one and nauseate plenty of you. Get off of Kerr. It's got nothing to do with this. Listen to all of you. Honestly, listen to yourselves. And I know not all of you are saying anything, but that's kind of the point. Every single person's got a different idea. You've all got a different idea. What does that tell you? That tells you that the answer is incredibly unclear. And I would argue unfair to ask anyone to know what these inconsistent people are going to do on a day in and day out basis. It's totally inconsistent. You go get a job and say, okay, whether I do a good job or not is based on whether or not Clay's 3 falls tonight, whether or not Andrew Wiggins is engaged tonight, or whether or not Jonathan Kuminga's free throws are falling tonight. I mean, my God. What is it? I know we've all got ideas. What do y'all really think Steve should be doing differently? Okay? $17.5 million a year. That's what the Warriors think. That's what they think of the job that he's doing. And I think that Joe Lacob and Steve Kerr have clashed plenty probably in the last 12 months. I bet they butted heads plenty. But just within the last half hour, we've got build around Looney. We've got
we need more Gee.
Let's get more Gee. Let's get some more Gee in there.
Why does he hate Moses Moody?
Well, that was your idea.
Well, and last night, you look at the box score from just the first half. Steve played 11 guys, and Steve doesn't like to play more than 10.
Nobody should.
Yet he played 11, and Moses Moody wasn't one of them. Steve?
You know where my brain goes on this one. And
all drunk with money, not even playing Moses.
This is not a good point. It's not a good comparison. But you're so dialed in on CYO youth basketball. Like, you looked at my son's game over the weekend.
Yeah.
They had their best game of the year. Want to know why? Because 4 players weren't there. That's why.
Right. They played with 6, right?
They played with 7, as opposed to the normal 11, where nobody can get into a flow. Nobody knows.
Right.
Everybody
mandatory participation
mandatory,
rule.
So 4 minutes, now get out of the game. Right? We got to get everybody in there. And I get it. I'm not saying it should be any different. But in youth basketball, if all 11 show up, good luck.
You're dead.
Good luck.
Anytime a team has 11,
you're dead.
Yeah, because especially in the Bs, you're usually not running with a deep bench.
And how many did the Warriors play last night?
They played 11 in the first half. But they played great.
Yeah. For a quarter and a half.
Yeah, a quarter and a half.
For a quarter and a half.
But you look at, and this is where Steve Kerr is earning his money, even in the first half. So Looney gets almost 5 minutes. He gets the one stint. And Šarić gets 5 minutes. TJD got 5 minutes. GP2 gets 6 minutes in the first half. These guys can't even get into a flow themselves.
Right.
And, you're playing Wiggins, Kuminga, Green, Pod, Steph, and Clay. That's your core 6 right now.
The Warriors
and the other 5 or 6, it's a crapshoot, right?
TJD goes 17 points, and then a wacko Charlotte game happens the next night, and 2 days later he can't get in the game. I understand it. I get the frustration.
Yep.
I just think that everyone yelling at Kerr is kind of the wrong way to go about it, because it's not him that's being inconsistent. Like, he's giving everybody, not Moses, but he's giving everybody a shot. Moses has had his shots this year too.
Yeah.
And you just don't know what you're going to get. If you want to criticize Kerr, here's what you need to say. The Warriors need to just pick a definition and go with it. But if he does that, okay, so what happens when that night that definition doesn't work? Then what do? And I think that's what's been happening. I think they want to define it, but these players are not good enough for the definition yet. That's why we're sitting here talking about who's the 2, because they got Steph and a bunch of 3s and 4s.
And that's where the frustration with fans comes in, because the fans are like, who's your 7, who's your 8, who's your 9, and who's your 10, because it always seems to be a mix and match. And you look at Moses Moody over the last 10 games, he's played in 8 of them, and it's between 1:45 and 19 and a half minutes. So his role is constantly changing. It seems like when he plays, the team does well and he plays well, and yet somebody gets healthy and he falls out of the rotation. So I think that his frustration is the one that fans feel a lot.
Let's go to Robin in the city. Hey, Robin, thanks for calling. What's up?
Hey, you guys. So, I wanted to try and kind of follow up on the conversation that was going on this morning. I just jumped in the car. So it was about Steve Kerr. I really can't stand the blame the coach idea, folks, okay? Because you stole my thunder. They don't have the personnel. What the hell are you supposed to do if you ain't got the personnel, right? So they were complaining about them losing against Denver, and Kerr didn't put them in key action positions and all that. I mean, what the hell? When you make adjustments and the other team is still kicking your butt, that means you don't have the personnel to counter that adjustment. Sports is kind of like a chess game sometimes, And so what happens with this fan base is when the Warriors get the win in 5-6 games, they go back into, we're championship mode again. No. No. You know what my dad used to say? If you keep hoping, that's where you're going to be, in hope. Peace out, guys.
Peace out, Robin. Ooh, with the phone drop.
Yeah.
Whenever you get the boom in there, that means you hang up faster than Grandy can hang up on you or me.
Right.
That's good.
That's quick.
She's already on to dinner.
And she makes great points, and this is why Steve Kerr is playing 11 and 12 and 13 people, because he's just searching. He doesn't have, it's like the old days when they were winning championships and you knew when Livingston was coming in and David West had his role and you had defined roles for these guys and you knew exactly what you were going to get night in and night out. You had your 8 or your 9-man rotation, and here comes Mo Buckets to shoot a couple threes, and if they go in, he'll get to play again, and if they don't, it'll be more Looney. Everything was much more defined, and now this is, you got Steph and Draymond. Draymond's been very consistent and very good since he came back, but everyone else, it's kind of like, just throwing it up against the wall.
Yeah, watch who you played last night. Watch the way they rotate. Nobody's like, who should I go to here? No. Whole thing is a wheel and it spins. And it just feels like
You're talking about Denver.
Yeah. The Warriors have been spinning all year trying to figure out exactly what works. Think of everything we've been through. Wiggins and Kuminga couldn't play together. Klay Thompson is on a mental journey. Draymond Green is gone for an extended period of time. Looney can't play without those guys all playing well. That's his group. Well, that group's gone. All of these things, and then developing young players and having them start to come on, Kuminga and Pods, and you just, every night, even now, even with the 10 out of 13, I still feel like, I wonder if you feel this way. When you sit down to watch Warrior basketball, aren't you still kind of like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what we're going to get. And that's not good. That's not, it can be fine. They're okay. But if you're going to keep talking about this through the lens of what does it mean for June, well, it doesn't mean anything for June. If you're sitting down and you're like, I don't know what to expect from this team tonight, then you don't get to play in June.